Good morning, this is Reid Seals for AM 1340 WGRV. I'm here with Greene County Mayor David Crum for our monthly interview session after the commission meeting. Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning, Reid. Good morning, Greene County.
Now, first thing I want to ask you is the Clerk Master lawsuit ruling was made, but the lawsuit is not quite over. Can you explain all that?
The judge gave, I guess what you'd call a ruling on it, but his final ruling will be based on attorney's fees and things like that, so we can appeal. It wouldn't be a formal appeal until his ruling could be final, or either side could go ahead. But looking at attorney's fees, we can contest some of those. So that's part of the process now that he's looking at. Is there any kind of little fine-tuning issue there with that we want to contest?
Okay, and then the county commission can appeal after that,
They can.
correct? Okay.
They can, and they can appeal now if they want to, and the other side could appeal if they weren't happy, I guess, and felt like they should have gotten more from what they'd originally asked for.
Can you explain the quitclaim deed with the Tennessee Department of Transportation building?
I can. Back some years, the Tennessee Department of Transportation had the engineering building up on Greenwood Drive. And whenever they moved out of there, they gave that to the county for possible use as storage or if there was any use. We've just not found any use for that building. It's isolated out away. I don't think it'd be real good for records because you'd have to secure it so well and put an alarm, different things. And the office holders, it's a good distance for them to go and maintain records. So just been a lack of vision or possibilities to use that property. If you've got property and aren't using it, then all you've got's a liability. So we had it in the property sales committee and got what I thought was a really good bid on that. As we discussed, found with the state, they have a reverter clause, and if we're not going to use it, we have to pay them fair market value if we're going to just sell the property. So I asked the assessor of property to go out, and let's just say I think we were offered about 26. The assessment based on his was about 44, so it didn't make a whole lot of sense to me to pay somebody $44,000 for something you're going to get $26,000 for. So we just did a quitclaim deed to turn that back over to the state and let them deal with however they want to, if they want to sell it or if they've got some use for it. But I can't find any use for that.
Now, I know the plan is for the county commission to vote on the budget in August.
Yes.
What is the status of the budget at this point in time?
Actually, Chuck Jeffers, the assessor of property, came by the other day and got a copy of a certified the resolution that set the tax rate, and hope to have that thing sometime before the end of June, what would be the certified tax rate based on the reappraisal. And when we've got that, then we can actually see then what is the revenue going to generate based on that change there and kind of plug that in, have a little better idea. We'll go over some stuff Thursday the 28th at 1, all those end of the year adjustments, the nonprofits things, and then we'll pretty much have one ready to pass out to the commissioners at the July commission meeting. We'll do a workshop the next week, publish it, and then it will be voted on in August.
Okay. Is there any kind of hint of a tax increase at all this time around?
Well, the issue we've talked about, and I don't know if you want to call it issue, if we want to protect our kids by having a school resource officer at every school, it can't be funded with the current revenue. I mean, we took, it's more than that, $1 million out of the fund balance this year to balance the budget, so it's just not there. So we'll have to be able to fund the SROs out of a tax increase. So that's the thing. If you want a school resource officer in your child's school to offer that extra level of protection, then we're going to have to pay for it. If you don't, then I guess tell people that you don't care if your kids or grandkids have an extra officer there or not. So that will be the key factor there as far as adjusting a tax rate that I can see.
Are there any projects you were trying to get done before you leave office?
Well, hopefully we'll finish up the range and have that thing ready. We're supposed to have a meeting, forgot to get it published, but I went down there and just kind of looked at some things with Dave Wright, stuff to see what to finish up. Shouldn't have any problem having that finished by August. We've pretty much spent the grant. I mean, there's a lot of construction. You've been down there. A lot of dirt's been moved and a lot of things have gone on. We'll be looking for somebody. Will have to be a manager to be there to oversee, a range master for that. That should be revenue neutral, if not generate revenue in order to pay for itself. Carroll County, which we kind of modeled some of this over, is a population of a little over 28,000. When I talk to them, they cover all their expenses plus some in order to maintain it self-sufficient. And so if they can do it with 28,000, if you've ever been at Carroll County, I think we're rural. Carroll County's in the middle of nowhere, but based on what we have, I think we will generate well, and that's one of the things we're going to do next month, is do a resolution similar like Kentzer Park, so that the revenues generated goes in there to cover the expenses. So it should well be revenue neutral as far as the budget. Now, this first year, it's kind of a shot in the dark taking an estimate there, but it should cover itself. That's the project. I mentioned, talked to Tacoma Ballard about, we've got the EMS office, or not office, the substation there across from Tacoma. There's not really a lease. It's kind of been a handshake deal that we're using it. If something happens, who takes care of it? So I've approached them about them maybe donating. They're willing to have the conversation about providing us that building, and we would just take over. There's actually an extra building there where their sleep center is that we would take it also. So if we get that, then we would they need some maintenance work, but nobody's doing it now. And so if we're going to stay there, and that's a good location for that substation, we need to get the roof and have it so we know who's responsible for it. That I can think of is just one of the things that kind of finish, and then just to make sure we got a budget and try to day-to-day activities.
Okay. And as normal, what's coming up this month?
Oh, man, it's just hectic. Reds just started playing home games. I don't know how anybody can get bored, because I sure got enough on my plate, but we've got the Reds. And I don't kind of toss out, we mentioned Tacoma and Ballard. Will Albright just got offered that scholarship down at UT, the long snapper. And academics are so important in athletics. The two go together. So I've had conversation with Andy McCall. Andy was a great kid. I taught him in Dare, and he's over teaching at Eastview and helping coach at Greenville High. And he said one of the things that's really helping them is those senior classmen are focusing so much on academics that, if you got a kid that's a 3.65 GPA and a 26 on their ACT, and they've got the athletic skills, and that coach that's recruiting at the college level knows I don't have to worry about giving a scholarship and them not making it. So those, you young kids out there that are thinking and looking and have some athletic skills, don't forget to hit the books, because those coaches are looking at that just as much. So focus on keeping those reading skills up over the summer. I know our schools are having a lot of summer schools to focus on reading, but that's such an important aspect in learning, is that reading. So if you're not up to your grade level, get that extra help and work in order to get that grade level up. But we've got in August will be the 5K with the YMCA. They've got another little mini sprint triathlon going on that you can do the full thing, which is, I forget the distance in the pool, about a 12-mile bike ride, 5K.
Are you doing it again?
Doing it again.
Okay.
I'm doing the bike. Been doing some spin training, rode to Tweetsy the other night. So we've got our team together, my nephew Steven and Noelle Smith over at the high school. She's there, and congratulate her. She's been involved in a program, kind of a principal mentoring program, and has spent a week down at Vanderbilt. But deviate a little bit from the news, I guess, but there's just a lot going on this summer. Summers are always active, and keeping busy mowing and all that stuff. But wish everyone well. We'll have an election coming up in August, the general election for Greene County. That we'll meet before then, and but then the primary for the state level will be at that time. So all those that are campaigning, I guess, are hitting it hard again. But things are busy.
Well, I want to thank Greene County Mayor David Crum for coming in today, and we will see him again next month. This is Reid Seals for AM 1340 WGRV.